Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a day in the life video. My heart whenever I do one of these vlogs is to invite you into one of my days, but to also sort of peel back the curtain and have more like real-time conversations about what God has been teaching me in this last little chunk of life. And so we're going to be getting to that. Tyler has been getting up really early, like 5:30, and he'll just go out into the living room to do his quiet times. One, to make sure that he gets that time, and two, so that he can close the door to our bedroom and he can be the one to hear Judah when he wakes up. And then when Judah does wake up, Tyler will get him and play with him in the living room to give me this time to have a little bit of a quiet time, which is so sweet. So I usually try to get up around 6 because I am still getting up once in the night to feed Judah. So I'll try to get up at around 6:30, and then I have usually till about 7 when Judah needs to feed to do a quiet time. Sometimes if I wake up at 6, I'll do a quiet time and try to squeeze in a workout too if I'm really ambitious. But so that's what our mornings usually look like. I wanted to share with you what I read in my quiet time this morning. So I've been reading in the book of John, and today I was in John chapter 3, which talks about John the Baptist, and all these people are coming up to John the Baptist and saying, do you see this guy Jesus, that all these people are going to him to get baptized? Like, this guy that was with you, he's now basically taking all your people that you were baptizing. And John answers him just this really profound statement in John 3:27. He says, a person cannot receive even one thing unless it is given him from heaven. And then he goes on to say, I am not the Christ, but I've been sent before him, basically to make the way for him and to point for him. And then in verse 30, he says, he must increase, but I must decrease. And he's speaking of Jesus there. So this idea that Christ is to be magnified. I'm not the focus. I'm not the point. My job is to point to him. But a note on the commentary from verse 27 where John says a person can't receive one thing unless it is given from him from heaven. A note from the Enduring Word commentary said that everything he had, including those who responded to his ministry, were a gift from God to be received gratefully. So basically people are trying to say to him almost like, don't you see that this guy is like stealing from your ministry? He's baptizing people and you're the Baptist, you're John the Baptist. And John's response is basically indicating everything I have, including the ministry that I have, is a gift from God. It has been given to me. And so whatever God gives me, I'm going to receive gratefully. And I just thought that was such a beautiful posture, especially like in Christian culture where we want to make an impact for God. And a lot of times that can unfortunately be tied to numbers. Just to remember that that's not the point. And even the ministry opportunities that we are given are just that. They're something that we're given. They're a gift from heaven. And so whatever God gives us, whatever opportunities he lays before us, whatever ways he wants to use us to make an impact, that is a gift that we should receive gratefully. And I think this is just such a beautiful picture of humility, of humbling ourselves and recognizing our whole entire point as Christ followers of our life. Our purpose is to point to him, to magnify him, Christ be magnified in our lives. And so little tidbits from my quiet time. I'm just about to get some dishes cleaned up from breakfast. Typically I'll start making breakfast around like 7:30, 7:45 after Tyler and I do like a little devotional together, usually while I'm feeding Judah. But this morning, Tyler took care of making breakfast. He held down the fort. And Judah, because I had a FaceTime call with Melody. So if you don't follow her here on YouTube, her channel is Melody Elisa and she is incredible. Her and I have connected over the past couple months and it's honestly just been such a blessing and answered prayer. Because to be honest with you, I feel like I've just gone through patches of being discouraged about different things with content lately. And to have somebody who does the same thing, who gets it, who's in it, and to have that person to be able to, you know, bounce ideas off of each other, to encourage one another, to pray together, has truly felt like such a gift. And Melody is somebody that I just feel like her intimacy with the Lord is so evident in the fruit in her life, in who she is as a person, and also in the content she creates. So if you're looking for
more faith-based videos that are truly just so encouraging and truth-filled and founded on scripture, then definitely check out her channel. I'll have it linked above. While I'm cleaning at breakfast, I wanted to share sort of a little hack that I do that makes things easier. I don't know if it's that helpful, but this is something I do when it comes to like meal preparation. So typically at the beginning of the week, or like I usually actually do it at the end of the week, preparing for the next week, I'll plan out meals for the week. And when I do, I'll figure out any like meats that we're gonna need that are gonna need to come out of the freezer. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I always would go to make dinner and then I'm like, oh, I was supposed to take this meat out of the freezer and now it's not thawed and it's gonna take more time now to thaw. So what I started doing is, as I'm planning out meals, let's just say we're gonna have, you know, chicken on Tuesday, I'll put right then and there, as I'm planning meals, I'll put a reminder on my phone to take the chicken out of the fridge or the freezer on Monday so that it's ready to go for Tuesday. And so I'll usually do that while I'm either making breakfast or cleaning up from breakfast. And I wanted to share with you what we've been using for our meat lately. We've been using Good Ranchers. Such a huge fan of their like subscription meat boxes. Little guy wanted some cuddles, but not only does Good Rancher have the best prices for like online meat delivery subscriptions, the quality is literally the best you can get. And it's all like locally sourced American ranches and stuff for the meat. And so I can't recommend them enough. We actually had their steaks with dinner last night. Tyler smoked them on the Traeger, and then we had like baked potatoes and salad, and their meat is just delicious. So if you're looking for like a good way to save money on meat and just get like the whole box for the month of all the meat you need and be able to stick it in the freezer, Good Ranchers is a great option. I'm gonna insert a little clip here because we got our subscription last week of what we got. Okay, so we got the Ranchers Classic box, and I'll just show you what it looks like when it comes in. First of all, it's really well insulated, and they put dry ice in here, so everything is kept really well. So this box is the Ranchers Classic. First up, we've got some beef bone-in short loin steak right here. Some chopped Angus steak ground beef. We love having that for like tacos, also for burgers, that's great too. Next, we have some boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and then some beef flat iron steaks, and literally the best bacon you've ever had, their Applewood smoked bacon. I'm just throwing on a little bit of makeup, which has proved to be more challenging to do with my little sidekick down here now that he is crawling, which is so exciting and so fun to watch. But if you hear little noises, Judah's just sitting here playing with some toys, and if the camera moves, it's because he kicks it. But anyways, if you saw my most recent video that I have up on my channel, I gave a major life update about my job, also about Tyler's job. And so if you want the full story, make sure you go and watch that video. But on that note, a little update in regards to community. So we did find a home church down here in San Diego that we're so excited to be a part of, and Tyler's been working on staff at that church. And so over the course of the past several months that we've been going there, we've made a couple close friends who we just love and we're super thankful for. But I would say definitely with like the church as a whole, we're still in the process of building community and digging our roots and really getting to know people. And something that I have learned about myself kind of in this process of moving down to San Diego now almost exactly a year ago, and just going through all of so many changes at once, like moving and then having a baby. Something that I've learned about myself is that I feel like it can take me a while to like fully open my heart up to a new place or to new people. Not because I don't love the new place or the new people, but because I think for me it can almost feel like letting go of what was and letting go of the people who were sort of like those day-to-day friends in the season before, which for us was the Bay Area. And I know that that's not at all true, and for me, I'm somebody who holds on to my best friends. Like, I'm gonna do whatever I can to try to pursue and keep those relationships, even if there's like distance now. And so I know that's not true, but I think I've just realized that that is like a tendency I have to kind of be slow to open up, and it just can take me a while to sort of adjust to change. And so that's something that God has really just been making me aware of. And the reason I share that though is because I was very proud of myself. I made a new mom friend. So typically for church, because Tyler does work at our church, I'm usually doing like the whole get ready for church routine by myself with Judah. So I'll take us to church, and then I'll usually go into like the sanctuary for worship. But then once worship is over and it's time for the message, I'll take Judah into the family room with the other families and little kids and stuff to listen to the sermon. And there's another mom who I've seen in the family room a bunch of times when we finally introduced ourselves
themselves to each other a couple weeks ago, and she has a little baby girl who's just a couple weeks younger than Judah, which works out really well in terms of like trying to get together because nap times are the same. I never realized like the importance of why people are like, finding a mom friend that has babies your same age is hard. I'm like, why does it matter if they're the same age? But literally even just with something like naps, it's like can be so challenging to figure out good times that work. And so it was super sweet to meet her, and we actually have a little play date today. We're gonna do a little picnic in the park after Judah's first nap, which is why I'm throwing on makeup. Speaking of, have not been doing that. You guys know I'm horrible at talking and doing makeup at the same time, but I just wanted to share that update. If you are in a place where you are, you know, don't have community, I encourage you to just keep praying for it, to get plugged into a local church, to know that it can take time to keep showing up, and to know that God will provide, that it does take time, but to trust just Him and His timing, and trust He is going to bring people into your life to do this life alongside you with, because we're not meant to do it alone. So I just want to share that little encouragement. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments sort of what your status is in terms of church. Are you at a church that you've been at for a really long time that you feel like you have those deep roots at? Are you looking for a church, or are you maybe sort of like in our season where there's a church you've been going to for a while, but you're still in the process of really getting to know everybody and building community and digging those roots? But I'd love to hear where you're at down below. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. Also, I wanted to mention I've been using this Dime lash primer, and I love it because it's like their lash serum and that it helps your lashes grow and just hydrates them and gives them all the good things that your lashes need. But it's a primer under your mascara, so it's like working all day as you're wearing your mascara, and I feel like it also helps mascara go on better. So if you want to check it out, I do have a code for them. It's Kaci Nicole, and I'll link this below. Hi, Bubba. Oh, come here, baby. Hi. Yeah. Boo, 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 boo. Yeah, you say hi. We can go to the park. We can have a play date. Yeah. We just got back from our play date and it was so much fun. My friend, she even picked up a little bouquet because she stopped at Trader Joe's to get some like picnicky stuff on the way. And she's like, I thought these were so cute, and grabbed them for you, which was so sweet. And it was just so fun to hang out and to see the little ones play and to see them enjoy the outdoors. We've got about 10 or 15 minutes until this little guy's next nap. So he's just doing a little bit of playtime right now, and I figured it'd be a good time to show you our new little living room setup so you can see. I'll put some little pans over this too. But we ended up swapping out the tables we used to have here. They were just like little end tables. And then also Tyler's base was in that corner where the tree now is. But now that Judah's crawling and starting to like try to pull himself up on things, the base was no longer safe to be there because it's pretty heavy. So if it fell, that would not be good. And then we ended up getting this play shelf over here. So this is the Montessori play shelf from Love Every. You guys know I love all the Love Every things. Judah's mat over here. I don't know if you can see it, but his mat, he just bumped the camera. Almost all of his toys are Love Every, and I love that they really encourage developmentally based play. So for whatever stage your baby is at, the toys are specifically designed to help aid in their development. And I like that they're more like open-ended toys that encourage creativity, not like a ton of like batteries and all that kind of stuff, or not any batteries. You're just bonking the camera and everything. But we love this play shelf because as you can see, the front of it is open. So Judah can like crawl up to it and grab whatever toys he wants to grab. But this play shelf is specifically designed for toy rotation as well. So basically, like if you put too many toys out, I've just found with Judah that he'll just get overwhelmed. But toy rotation, you can put out a little bit at a time, and so it allows him to not get as overwhelmed and to just like focus on the toys that are out. And then the toys that you don't have displayed currently, the back side of this little shelf actually has like a little bin that opens up, and there's storage under there. And so it's just like it allows for less of a cluttered play space and encourages just, yeah, him to be able to access toys on his own. And again, just having more of that open-ended play. The Montessori technique of putting out just again like 4 to 5 toys at a time, it helps to build independence and again keeps things less cluttered without having all the toys out at once. And so we are loving this. I feel like our new setup leaves this wall over here a little bit bare because this is where we used to have the tree and everything. But by moving that into the corner, one, it's not like he's not like playing with it, and it's also kind of just like opening up our living room a little bit more. You know, it's no longer about the layout that maybe makes the most sense aesthetically, but just what makes the most sense practically and gives Judah space to play. The reason why we love the play shelf is because it's both. It's functional and it really like works well for him for play and gives him sort of like his play corner, but it's also, you know, aesthetically
very nice. He's getting tired, so we're gonna get this little guy down for a nap and we'll check in a bit. Yeah, little man just woke up from his nap. And to be honest with you, I wasn't sure if I was gonna share this just because I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but I know that when other moms have talked about their struggles with this, it's really helped me to feel less alone and just encouraged. And I feel like this is something that can be really easy to get caught up on in motherhood and to feel mom guilt about, or to feel inadequate about, just this idea of sort of where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be able to do, or what your baby is supposed to be doing versus where you actually are. But I know that where I'm supposed to be, or pretending that I am where I'm supposed to be, isn't gonna help anybody. So here's where we actually are. Judah is 8 months old and we are still doing contact naps for every single nap. Honestly, when he was first born, we didn't really think too much about naps. They kind of just happened naturally. Like, he would fall asleep in the car if we were running errands, or, you know, in the stroller while we were taking a walk, or, you know, we would be holding him or whatever. And then probably around maybe like the 5.5, 6 month mark, somewhere in there, we started focusing on trying to work on crib naps, and for a hot second he was doing great. He was taking long naps in his crib, but that was very short-lived. And so I just sort of accepted that and started doing contact naps every time, because when we would try to do a crib nap, it was just so frustrating that he would always wake up at 30 minutes. And I honestly just felt so defeated. Like, I didn't know what to do to help him extend those. I did sometimes try to leave him in there when he would wake up to see if he would fall back asleep, instead of going in right away. And he just never would. And so I was like, okay, we're just gonna do contact naps. And that is something that I definitely will learn from and do differently for the next baby, whenever we have the next baby, God willing, is to work on trying to get them more comfortable and familiar with doing naps in the bassinet or the crib at a much earlier age than we did with Judah. But while I'll say that I will do that differently next time, I won't say that I regret it, because I was actually talking to Tyler's cousin who has 5 kids, and I was telling her, man, I feel like I messed this up. I've made him just only want to be able to nap with me, and, you know, I feel like he should be able to do crib naps by now. And she was like, honestly, I wouldn't feel guilty about that, or I wouldn't beat yourself up over that, because when you have more kids, you're never going to be able to do this again with another baby. She's like, when you have another baby, you're not going to be able to hold that baby for every nap, because you're also going to have Judah to take care of. And so there's literally never another time where you're going to get to just hold your baby for every single nap like this, and it goes so fast. And she was like, don't beat yourself up, just soak it up. It just really encouraged me, because I was like, honestly, I love getting to hold him for naps, and I love those cuddles. And yeah, sure, sometimes it would be nice to be able to put him down and get things done around the house, but honestly, I'm still able to get a good amount done holding him for naps, because I'll just once he's asleep, I'll pull out my laptop and work with him right there on my lap. That's when I get honestly most of my computer work stuff done. And so honestly, I don't regret it, but I feel like I've just been embarrassed to admit it, because I feel like there could be this judgment of 8 months old and you're still doing contact naps. And it's not to say we're not gonna continue to try for crib naps. We're gonna be visiting my family this next week up in Idaho, which I'm so excited to see them. But when we do get back from that trip, it is something that I really wanna focus on and start working on again. And so if you have any tips on what we can do to help that, please leave them down below, because I feel like I was just at a loss, and that helpless feeling is part of why I was just we're just gonna do contact naps. But leave your tips down below. We are gonna try for it. But all that to say, if you are a mama who is also struggling with naps or nighttime sleep or something else, or even not related to motherhood, you're just feeling guilt or shame or inadequacy over this idea of where you should be or what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not there, just know that you're not alone, and we're all figuring it out together. Speaking of embarrassed to admit, I wanted to have just a little bit of a heart chat and admit where we've been at, because where I've been at is, quite honestly, I feel like I just haven't really loved who I've been lately. I feel like I've just had not the greatest attitude towards things, not the greatest reactions when, you know, something doesn't go to plan, or I don't know, just getting frustrated and having reactions that I'm not always proud of, and getting frustrated at little things. And obviously there's a lot of factors that go into that. Sleep deprivation is a huge thing. I did just get my first postpartum period a couple weeks ago, and so I'm sure hormones rebalancing and just hormones being all over the place also plays into that. And all of those things are valid, but I feel like something God has just been convicting me of recently is that I do not need to be a victim to my reactions or to my circumstances. I feel like something would happen that would be, you know, inconvenient or frustrating, and I would react to those things and not be the person I want to be, not be patient, not be kind, not be gentle, not have the self-control always that I want to have. And I don't need to be. I don't need to be a victim to those things. I can choose who I want to be, and who I want to be, who I desire to be, is somebody who is filled with the fruit of God's Spirit, somebody who has love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. And I think it was just really freeing to remember that like I can choose to be those things. And just because when things don't go well or whatever, things come up, like I don't have to be a victim to those things. I can choose to walk in the fruit of the Spirit, because ultimately the fruit of the Spirit comes from abiding in Jesus, like he talks about in John chapter 15. And when we look at Galatians 5:2 that talks about what the fruit of the Spirit are, it also says that we walk in those things. Galatians 5:16 says, "But I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh." And so it is a choice we get to make to walk in step with the Spirit, to yield and submit ourselves to the Spirit's work in our hearts, rather than gratifying the desires of our flesh, rather than gratifying those impulses we have when we want to have a reaction, when things don't go our way, when we want to grapple for control. We can choose instead to walk by the Spirit. And so those are my little thoughts. That's my little confession, but what God is stirring in me, and maybe that's a little bit of an encouragement to you as well. If you want to check out more on the book of Galatians, I do have an entire Bible study with me series on it, so I'll have that linked above. But that's what I've been learning lately. I think that this little guy and I are gonna get, well, he's gonna get changed. I'm not gonna get changed. And then I think we may go for a walk, because it's about 4 o'clock right now, and we got a little bit of time before dinner. And this guy loves the sunshine. He also loves moving and grooving. He's like, "Mom, put me down." Now that he can crawl, he's like, just wants to go and do his thing. So anywho, thanks for listening to that heart chat. I love you. I love you. One other thing, Judah learned how to give Mama kisses yesterday, and it's the sweetest thing. You want to give me Mama a kiss? Oh, I love this boy so much. Cuteness aggression. We just got back from our walk. Judah is playing in the mirror. He loves his reflection. But I think I'm actually going to go ahead and close out the vlog here, because Tyler actually has worship rehearsal at the church tonight, so he doesn't get back until much later, which means I'm handling dinner and bedtime on my own, and the thought of trying to also vlog that it's just not going to happen. And I also feel like this vlog is already probably pretty long. But the nights that Tyler has worship rehearsal, his sister, my sister-in-law, has actually been coming over, and we've been going through a book together called Risen Motherhood. And if you are looking for a book on motherhood that is just so gospel-centered, founded on scripture, and just so sound, I could not recommend that book enough. And on the note of bedtime routines, I wanted to mention 2 other things. I feel like I've shared a lot of products in this video, but I feel like vlogs are kind of just a fun opportunity to show some of the things that I'm using and loving in my day-to-day life that could maybe also be helpful or a blessing to you. The first thing, we recently switched over our diapers to a company called Every Life. If you have not heard of Every Life, I'm literally so excited to tell you about them. This is not sponsored. I'm just so pumped on what this company is about. So first of all, their products are incredible. They're high performing premium diapers. We've had them, you know, days, nights, liquid, solids, all of the things, and they have held up through all of it. But what's really cool about this company is that they're a pro-life diaper company, and that's not just something they say, that's something they put into action. And so they support organizations that help to meet the practical needs and to support women and families who have made the courageous decision to keep their baby, maybe in situations where it would have been
felt easy or tempting not to, and they truly believe that every life, every baby is a precious miracle and gift from God that deserves to be celebrated, and they are doing things to, you know, put that into action and to support babies and families and women in need. We're using all Every Life diapers, wipes, everything now. If you want to try them out, you can get 10% off your first order. I have a code, it's Kaci10. Again, this is not sponsored. I'm truly just so excited about everything that this company stands for. I didn't realize until learning about Every Life that so many diaper companies actually financially support organizations that really just go against a lot of my values personally. And so to find a company that, one, has a really good product, but also I can wholeheartedly get behind everything they stand for is just like a no-brainer to use them, because a lot of dollars go towards diapering. And so if you're a mama who's looking for a great diaper, I encourage you to check them out. And then the other thing, so I recently posted a video sharing some of the Bible verses that I strategically pray over Judah every single night. And I actually created a print that's sort of a visual of these Bible verses. And so if you are wanting something like that, like a print for your nursery to have sort of a visual reminder to pray scripture over your baby, which is so powerful, or maybe as like a meaningful baby shower gift, I'm gonna link that print down below as well. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I would love to hear from you down in the comments. What is something that God has been teaching you or showing you this summer? I look forward to reading through those testimonies. I had to grab Mr. Judah Weston to close it out, but thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! Judah blow kisses. Mwah.